Hello and welcome to another episode of Nitecore Store's flashlight lore. I am sure by now that you have heard on numerous occasions about how efficient LED technology is compared to its predecessors such as incandescent or proto-human with fire on stick. After scouring the internet by spending around 10 minutes on Wikipedia, the data suggests that incandescent lamps have an energy in to light output produce efficiency about 5 to 10%, with LEDs producing an energy in to light output efficiency from anywhere to 30 to 40%. That being said, as flashlight fanatics and enthusiasts, you are probably wondering, well, if it's so efficient, then why does my LED flashlight get so hot? Because flashlights, like any other industry, has to market to consumers, and consumers like big numbers. And just because LEDs are more efficient and produce less residual thermal waste, if you make it really big, it'll still produce a lot of a little thermal waste. Which brings me to something I've always wanted to do with one of our really high-powered flashlights.
Are you new to this channel? Consider subscribing and liking our videos for more Nitecore content.
Howdy y'all, and welcome to Cooking with Nitecore. My name is Ezekiel Featherbottom, the only southern names I can think of. Today, we'll be making some scrum-diddly-umptious treats that'll make your opossum do cartwheels like a Junebug dandelion Jack Daniels crawfish. Enough of that. Let's melt some cheese on a high-powered flashlight. Now this is where I have to include the boring legal disclaimer that this is absolutely not a recommendation. This is not the proper way to utilize one of our flashlights. At the same time, I'm not your mother, and you shouldn't just listen to any random person on the internet. Don't let anyone hold back your dreams. Here I have with me our TM39. It's a dedicated high-powered searchlight. It gets to the turbo setting of 5200 lumen, which doesn't seem that much considering I just did a TM9K LTP video which gets to 9800 lumen. However, it's the 562,000 candela rating, which is what I want. It's a concentrated beam, and I'm hoping that that generates enough heat to melt some cheese. I got one of these. Essentially, it's a Lunchables for adults. So, let's melt some cheese. Level 4, 5200 lumen max. You know, the body is actually a lot hotter than the actual lens, which makes sense considering all of these radiative cooling fins that you see are to help disperse and pull heat away from the central LED array, which is inside the reflector. So I think this will actually be faster. Although this is already it's much more pliable than it originally was. And you can see the residual grease, I suppose. Ooh, yeah, that is very hot. Oh, and the smell's coming up as well. It actually smells quite savory. So as you can see, this is a regular slice, still very cool to the touch. Then we have not bad. So yeah, here you see, regular, unmelted, still fairly cool to the touch. And here is a piece of cheese that was melted via the residual thermal inefficiency of the TM39. I mean, it's cheese and crackers. It's fairly good. I don't think... Oh, this is gonna be so... I'm gonna have to clean this. I don't know if this is because I'm uncultured and I don't know how you're supposed to eat cheeses or know the names of all the fancy cheeses, but I honestly kind of prefer the flashlight melted one. It's just melted cheese. Melted cheese is amazing. Moving on. And now for the second item in Cooking with Nitecore. How about a nice dessert? Is there anything more American than s'mores? Actually, yeah, like baseball, Patriot missiles, apple pie, anything written by Sousa. However, when you are prompted with, I need to figure out some things that'll easily melt, cheese and chocolate, top 2 answers. So, let's try making some s'mores using nothing but the residual thermal inefficiency of the Nitecore TM39. That is melting way too quickly and is making a mess. I'm gonna have to scrub very vigorously. Man, this is really difficult without cursing. Wow, that is super melted. A little bit disappointed the marshmallows haven't become as gelatinous as I'd hoped. So these are definitely a lot more pliable than the ones straight out of the bag. You can tell the heat's slowly. Oh, actually, yeah. Let's see. Yes, ever so slightly melted. Cool. I mean, there was no way that was going to taste bad. It's chocolate marshmallows and graham crackers. So yes, you can definitely melt chocolate using only the inefficient thermal residual waste that comes off of a high-powered flashlight. God, that is so hot. Jesus. Which brings me to the last item that I have prepared for cooking with Nitecore, and that item is gummy bears. Because I thought that they would melt really well, even though that's not commonly how people enjoy them. But I just hate how happy they always look, so smug. And it kind of makes me feel like a Bond villain that I have a complex, futuristic mechanical contraption that hurts them. Yes. I originally was only gonna do like one, but I thought might as well. I think it's probably best, especially modern era, to have one of each color in case anybody thinks I'm like a gummy bear racist or something. Which one am I missing? Orange. Yeah, the gummy bears are holding up surprisingly well. Compared to the chocolate, at least. But I don't know if you see that. The heat is definitely working on them. I mean, I don't get it. It's so hot. It's the thing, it's just like experiments like these really let you know how surprisingly resilient certain things are as compared to what we consider to be normal sensations. Because this flashlight is, I would say, just right at about where it's like unbearable to touch for the average person, I would assume. It is fairly hot. But man, these things are holding up surprisingly well. Well, actually, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's the power of gelatin. I was hoping for something far more dramatic where they would just like slowly be melting away like a Wizard of Oz antagonist or something. Okay, I got about this high. Oh, okay, this eye. Oh, easily. No. So I think this right here, even of itself, is a demonstration of just how important radiative cooling fins are. Compare the area. Oh god, I'm so sticky now. If you just compare this one relatively flat area as opposed to the heat that was generated in this radiative area where the yellow and orange ones were, you can see even this subtle design is that much more efficient thanks to the way surface area works at dissipating the heat away. And if anything, I guess this kind of helps show that even something as high powered as this with 562,000 candela is very good at managing its own heat, although it is still fairly hot. Honestly can't tell the difference between that and regular gummy bear. If anything, it's just slightly less chewier. And that concludes another episode of Nitecore Store's Flashlight Lore, a special edition, Cooking with Nitecore, where we in a roundabout way show off the advanced thermal regulation module and the heat sinking of the Nitecore TM39. I honestly figured with how hot flashlights were getting that the results would be far more dramatic when I originally envisioned this in my head. If you have enjoyed this video, or think I'm a big dumb fart, please leave a comment or suggestion below. And of course, as a show of appreciation for our YouTube audience, save 10% on your entire order at Nitecore Store when you use a code U10 at checkout. Do you have any flashlight overheating horror stories? Please let us know in the comments below. If you would like to stay up to date on any future product announcements, sales, specials, and more, please consider subscribing to the Nitecore Store YouTube channel. And thank you.